Okay, today I want to talk about the book The Chain by Adrian McKinty. This has to be probably one of my favorite books that I've read this year so far. Maybe of all time right now. At first, I started listening to this book because YouTube had the free audiobook available. And let me tell you, this book is intense from the very beginning. There were times that it got too intense that I had to turn it off for a moment and just sit there and think about what I just listened to. Um, I mean, I don't think I've ever had a book really made me do that in a long time, at least. Um, okay, so imagine that you just dropped your daughter off, Riley, at our bus stop, right? You're on your way to work, to a doctor's appointment to start your day. Your phone starts ringing, and as you look at the screen, the caller is unknown and it's blocked. Out of sheer curiosity, you decide to answer the phone. On the other end is a woman, and she lets you know that she has just kidnapped your daughter from her bus stop, and she is bound and gagged in the back of her car. She is demanding a $25,000 ransom to be paid, right? She says you cannot contact any kind of police. You can't call anybody. If you contact the police, she will put a bullet through your daughter's head. And then there's a second part. There's 2 steps, right? That's the first step. Second step. In order for you to be able to get your daughter back, you must go and kidnap someone else's child. Just think about that. Just like, what? She states that her son has been kidnapped, right? And the only way that she could get her son back was to pay the ransom and to go kidnap somebody else's child. Okay? She is now part of the chain. Okay. So, I don't even know. I mean, where do you even start with that? Who do you even begin to think of whose kid you can even kidnap? I mean, really, realistically, the only way, it can't be really anybody that you know. It would need to be a stranger. And honestly, social media is the best place to find somebody because people put their whole lives on social media. You know almost everywhere they're going because they choose to update themselves as they go. So you know if they're home, you know if they're at work, you know if they're at school, you know if they're on vacation, everything. It's crazy. The chain will protect itself. It's been going on for years, and it will continue to go on for years. So if the parents of the kidnapped child threatens you to go to the police or tries to go to the police, you then have to kill somebody else's child, or whoever has your child, they're going to kill them. But then you would have to start all over again, which is crazy in itself. So you need to kidnap somebody basically who would be able to pay the ransom. And some of the rules to the kidnapping is you can't kidnap a child that would have any kind of like medical issues or medical problems, because let's say something happens while they're in your custody, and basically if something does happen to the child and it does need medical attention, you have a very serious choice to make. You either allow that child to die, or you take the child to the hospital. But once you take that child to the hospital, you know that your daughter will be getting a bullet through her head, basically. And I couldn't even, there's no way I could even contemplate that. Just, I mean, it's crazy. Save somebody else's child or save your own. How do you make that decision? You can't. You don't. You shouldn't have to. So Rachel is the mother of Kylie, and as she drops her daughter off at the bus stop, she was also on her way to her oncologist, because there was a possibility that her breast cancer has come back. So she was actually preparing herself for bad news from her doctor. She's no longer married to her husband, Marty. They recently just got divorced. She's supposed to be starting a new teaching job soon at the university. But once she gets the call that her daughter Riley has been taken, the only person she can call is her husband's older ex-Marine brother, and his name is Pete. She asks the people that took her daughter if she's allowed to contact Pete, because they don't allow you to contact anybody. Because she doesn't really involve her husband, she's asking them if she can involve Pete, because she would obviously need help doing this. And they do allow her to bring Pete in. She also has to go get a burner phone, but she buys like 20 of them. And then basically a kidnapping kit, duct tape, rope, everything you would need for like a serial killer kit, basically. Pete, though, he's dealing with his own demons right now. And after he was discharged from the military, he was prescribed painkillers. So instead of, since pills are really hard to come by out on the street, he's now turned to heroin. So he does have a dependency on heroin at the moment, and Rachel has no idea about this. But he kind of puts everything aside and agrees to help Rachel get Kylie back. Nobody knows but him, but he's going to do whatever it takes. I mean, this book grabbed me instantly. Like, there are times I couldn't breathe. I just, especially, like, I don't want to give too much away, but she does end up kidnapping somebody else's child. And the child that she was going to kidnap, it didn't work out. So she kidnapped the younger sibling of that child. And that girl that she kidnaps, she does have medical issues. She has a very serious peanut allergy, and at one point Rachel is gonna have a decision to make. Like, something goes terribly wrong, and I it's got me speechless. Like, if you have not read this book, I guarantee you it will grab you so hard, and it will. This is one of those books that will stay with you for the rest of your life. Adrian, you did a phenomenal job, and I can't recommend this book enough. Please, go read this book. I promise you, it's everything a thriller should be.